Hello, hello, hello. Black Bean Simpson here. It is January the 2nd, like 2:15 in the morning. Had a thought, a late night thought. This has been a building of a I don't know if the proper. It's not. It's a vision of what big companies, what essentially what happens to corporations, to all corporations, and from my observation and also working within a few corporations, some really big ones and some really small ones. Um, I notice as they start off small, they're like a small business. They actually are really good to work for, and and once they get to a certain point, they're exceptionally really good to work for because they hand out really good benefit packages. I mean, this might not be on all corporations, but it seems like the majority, from what I've noticed and from what I've worked in, uh, when they're like say around 1,000 employees, give or take, somewhere around there, they're usually great companies to work with. Um, they have great packages, great, you know, um, just great employment services. Just all around, they do good for their employees, as well as they usually tend to give good service to their customers, to their accounts. But as they get big and bigger and bigger, they start to get really. They usually get. It depends now if like big corporations pretty much lose their single shareholder, or single owner essentially, um, or single main owner, they really become stuck to appeasing the shareholders. Now, in a sense, what happens, from my understanding, I'm not no economic specialist, but this is from my amateur view and very um, well, put it this way: I can't think of one book that I've ever read that was especially economics. So I'm no professional at this, but I do listen to several people throughout the years. Every person from Peter Schiff, Tom Woods, and then they're just people just off and on the radio and on just news when they're talking about stocks or whatever. And just from a lot of my times of just talking to owners, I'd say a lot of my understanding of economy, besides listening to economists on from wherever, is a lot of is talking to owners, and that people are trying to run businesses, or people who are help running businesses. Um, that really that has kind of helped me understood the problem that a lot of these owners face when they get so big, and then they almost seem like they become, from the outside, if you never meet these people, it almost seems like they become heartless. Well, it's not that they become heartless, it's that when they detach themselves from the business, and the business itself runs its kind of itself, all you're there is to make sure that you're really are hiring the right people, to make sure that the numbers that you're getting are steadily going up, or at least, oh yeah, there's just yearly upon yearly, is in hopes that it's not stagnant but steadily going up. If it's going up constantly, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what exactly, as long as everything's lawful and everything. It doesn't matter what's happening outside the business that's generating the money. Essentially, it doesn't matter. So as we all in any industrialized society, and even non-industrial societies, have felt effects of what um, the whole crony capitalism or um, I'd say it's crony economics. I mean, yes, it's people are capitalizing on things, but it's not capitalism is not taking advantage of essentially of people and essentially stealing. And that's what a lot of businesses end up doing. They do in a way through other means, like nitpick. My whole point of this is I think there's a great a great example of what companies are doing behind the scene that we never see with products. I think I think there's right now I think we're starting to actually see what it is that some corporations or all corporations are doing behind the scene. But with these companies, because it's even though it's behind the scenes, they're still doing it at that level. And now you're actually literally feeling it. And my whole idea, or where this is all coming from, is that or it's not coming from, but I've noticed from the last couple years of video gaming industries, how they're sitting there doing all these crazy amount of microtransactions, and how they're not allowing you now, especially with the Fallout 76, how it's not allowing you to be the decider on what graphics that you want or how you want to tweak them. They'll straight up ban you. That's just like companies like Apple who don't want you to at all work on their own systems. That's the same thing how each individual thing that they can nitpick you, like Apple can, if they can nitpick you on prices on every little thing, they will. And that's exactly what Bethesda's doing with all these microtransactions. Or any company, EA. I mean, I think the video game industry is a great example of what all corporations are actually doing behind the scenes. They're trying to find any way possible to make a buck off of you. Now, of course, some businesses do this in other ways, and you don't got like McDonald's nitpicking you on every little package of condiment. But there is places out there is like if you walk into a lot of grocery places, a lot of times they just don't allow you to. If they have a deli place and you can get hot foods, they don't allow you to just always grab like free packets of ketchup. You usually got to pay 50 cents for a decent sized little packet of ketchup. But that's just because of that's the business. It's not able to maintain it like how McDonald's is. McDonald's finds that price on their on their pop. Their pop is literally like, I might be incorrect on this, but I think it's like a 3,000% markup. But maybe I'm wrong on that number. But it's per drink. It's literally within it's under $1. If I'm correct, I'm pretty sure that's per drink is like under $1 for McDonald's. And if you like do even thing like for KFC, a bucket of chicken, like the biggest thing is what, like $20-$30. Literally, KFC's paying what, like for that, probably less than $5, and you're paying like $20-$30 for that bucket of chicken. So it's like that's how they're able to sit there and give these free condiments out, you know. So you would almost think that's what Bethesda and all these gaming companies would be doing. All these not only gaming company publishers, but the actual video game makers, the developers. You got Fortnite. That's just getting outrageous. I mean, hey, I'm for it. Go ahead and do it. If people are willing to help you grow and become a monster, then so be it. Let people get eaten up by their own stupidity. I mean, that's just I'm not helping Bethesda. No, no more, no more. I'm a Fallout fan, but no more. It's done. It was done at Fallout 4, and I still gave Fallout 76 a try. So I thought it would be kind of unique, but I didn't realize the microtransaction shit that they were going to pull on it. Plus, the game itself is still like beta. It's like I don't even know. It's horrible. It's horrible on the way that there's a lot of good stuff about the game, what its potentials, but beyond the way that they just are limiting how modders can better their game, it's just ridiculous. I mean, everything about Bethesda because of their corporate um, robot mentality. It's worse than a robot mentality. I think a robot mentality would realize it could be more efficient on making money if it allowed it to naturally grow, and rather than inhibit what they essentially sowed. It's like Bethesda thinks that after it's sowed it, it should be constantly there nitpicking the what is in the ground to let it grow, rather than just letting the ground do its job. Like you already did the foundation of building building the fan base, which is building the soil. Now the fan base essentially just grows it. All right, and they're just like destroying the soil to try to to maintain what they've been trying to grow. I don't. It's just ridiculous on what Bethesda has been doing, but but with corporations in general, you could see that this goes throughout all corporations. You got, I mean, all corporations, they all find a way. You can all see this. And some do it better than others. All right, some master this better than others. I'd say like Walmart has probably done this exceptionally well. But at the same time, they, if you've noticed, the way that they pay their employees, the way that they used to do benefits, that's all has it's gone to the wayside. It's not. It's like 100% worse in my perspective, and I would say many other people's perspective. 100% worse than what it was before. Before there was benefits. Now there is zero. That's 100% worse. You don't go from having benefits, great benefits, to a little bit of benefits to zero benefits, and be like they're doing great. Something going on there. And but yet these people who are breaking in millions of dollars a year, you don't see them at all lose at all bit, but yet all their employees lose. I mean, it's interesting on how corporations truly do work. The higher up people never take a hit. They never take a hit. Remember this. That when you're working for corporations, when you are buying stuff from a corporation, you're essentially supporting not the employers. That's a false fallacy. I mean, I got to come down to it. That's a false fallacy. Not a corporation. That's a false fallacy. You are supporting the very wealthy people on getting their $10 million pensions and just crazy amounts of bonuses and stuff. That's what you're really supporting. You're supporting whatever crazy agenda that they put that money towards. And as if you notice, most of these huge corporations, especially these tech companies and that, are handing a bunch of money to Democrats. So it's just, I don't. If you're a private company, you're a small company. If you're even a corporation that's still like pretty much singly owned, it's a different story. Different story. But I mean, if you're a corporation, I mean, you're pretty much feeding a beast. I mean, and when you're a singly owned corporation, once that person sells it, once that person dies off, that's usually when you see the change within the corporation. Walmart is a great example of that. When I think Sam Walter, when he died, Sam's Club, Walmart, all fundamentally the employment structure on how that all went, how they gave bonuses, all changed. If you like this podcast, please like and subscribe. If you didn't like this podcast, please still like and subscribe. Comment down below for any advice, comment, just say hi or anything. Happy New Year's, everybody. Thanks for listening.